Hello, this is your captain speaking, and today we're back with more Kerbal Space Program. Last time we left off in low orbit around Minmus. Alright, so now that I'm reaching the day side of the celestial body that I almost just called a planet, I am going to boost myself up a little bit, so I'm going to give myself more time to slow down, because now I'm going to come in for a landing on the surface of Minmus, and hopefully not totally, blow up and explode and die. Where should I land? Well, my first landing spot's probably going to be right. I think these are Midlands right here. Actually, no, I'll go down here for these slopes. Slopes are good. Slopes is good science. Slopes is good. That was terrible grammar. I apologize. Let's start slowing myself down here. I want to aim myself towards that canyon-y looking thing right there. And I'm going to do a burn. Flying by eyeball. Come on, gotta burn again. It's going to be a while. Come on. This is taking a lot more fuel than I thought it would get this kind of burn done. Okay, here we go. I've got a good landing right here. I'm gonna open my landing legs before I forget and end up just plummeting my engines to the ground here, or my main tank of fuel, which is responsible for getting me everywhere. Gonna burn against my retrograde vector here. Land myself nicely in this little canyon, which I might land on a very sloped surface here, but that's fine. This thing has a wide enough base to where I'm not worried about flipping myself upside down too much. Alright, here we have myself slowed down just enough. I'm pointing myself upside down. That's probably not the way I want to land. As I will crush Tedstead Kerman into a little Kerbal green pancake. Alright, I'm going to time excel until I get closer to the ground. Gotta get myself set to surface here so I won't come down sideways like I almost was doing just right there. Boom. Perfect. And now for another standard procedure landing. I'm getting so good at landings. It's almost just it's not work at this point, but it's getting pretty easy. I have put like 280 hours into this game, so I do know what I'm doing pretty well. Which I'm not like your Scott Manleys or anything, but I do enjoy this game a lot. A lot. Alright, getting pretty close to the surface here. My lights are on, so I should be seeing them pretty soon. Where's my shadow? Where's the sun? My shadow's gonna be cast way over there. There we go. Alright. Slow myself down here. 10 meters per second. Where are my lights? Are my lights being blocked off by my landing legs? I think so. Are you just not casting light? Oh, there they are. It just takes until I'm barely off the ground. And boosh, a perfect, successful landing. Yes, that's what the inside of the cockpit looks like. We just landed on the strange alien world, and he wants to see the inside of the cockpit. Gonna hop out of the ship here. But don't fall. Come on. I'm gonna do an EVA report while I'm falling. From space just above Minmus's slopes. Shoot. Nope. Go back down. Go back down. I'm gonna return that data to the pod right here. No, dang it. Store experiment. Get down to the surface. Ow. Tedstead, you were making a fool of yourself on this mission. Come on, man. I thought you were better than this. Plant flag. Minmus slopes biome. The first of many scientific landings of the Altar Science. I'm going to capitalize it so it looks official. Altar Science Shuttle. Woohoo. Take surface sample. Holy crap, 150 science. I'm going to return bank on this mission. Hello, Damien of the future here, and the problem with exploration missions like this is they get very samey and repetitive. It's just a whole lot of taking off and landing and taking off and landing and collecting science data. So I'm gonna sort it into this nice little montage for you until this interesting thing happened that's a result of my own stupidity. Oh shit. No. So you can save it. Come on. No, 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 no. Pull up, pull up, pull up, pull up. Oh, thank Christ. Okay. Whew. Almost fucked the whole mission up just there. That would have been really bad. Alright. I'm not gonna do that again. Hopefully. Oh, that silly rascal passed me. Due to a mysterious error with the computer called me accidentally muting my microphone and forgetting to unmute it, the rest of this video will have to be brought to you by me, Future Damien. While I was plotting my return trip home, I realized I had a grandiose amount of fuel, and I figured it would be a great idea if I managed to pick up some science from interplanetary space by leaving the Kerbal system. So that's exactly what I tried to do. Once I got into interplanetary space, I collected a grand amount of science just from doing a crew report, 275, and then Tedstead Kerbal decided to go flipping away from the ship again. I think he's just being a douche and messing with me at this point. After several minutes of fiddling around with maneuver nodes, I figured out how to get home without taking a year to orbit the sun to get back to Kerbal. Tedstead and the boys in the lab module have now set the record for the furthest Kerbal from Kerbal in this career mode. After that burn, I came across a really strangely tight orbit around Kerbal, so I just pursued that because, hey, I'm not going to argue with a good, easy orbit to return to Kerbal with. And on my way back to Kerbal, I managed to get myself a really tight intercept with the moon of 33 kilometers, to which I started phase 3 of my, well, finger quotes, plan to explore the system, of getting a close orbit of the moon and gathering crew report and EVA science from just above the surface. I then got myself in a nice tight orbit around the moon of 4 kilometers periaps, 8 kilometers apoaps, and I started gathering crew report science as I whizzed just above the surface of the moon. Flying over all the lips of the craters really makes you realize how jagged and crazy the moon's surface is, and how horrifying it would be for me to be any closer to the surface than I already am. After acquiring the ample amount of science I got from orbiting so close to the surface of the moon and gathering data, I finally decided it was time to burn back home, get my Kerbals home safely. As I prepare for landing on Kerbal, I realize that one of my landing gears is broken, so I pop out Tedstead Kerbal to go and fix it, as I plummet down into the atmosphere at immensely high speeds. Keep in mind that Kerbal's atmosphere begins at 69 kilometers up, so once I hit the atmosphere, I'm going to have to start dealing with the air forces put against Tedstead. Oh jeez, this is horrifying. But luckily I managed to make him get safely back inside the ship for a return descent to Kerbal. I stow my newly repaired landing gear, thanks to the hero Tedstead Kerbal, and begin plummeting down towards the surface at breakneck speeds of over 2 kilometers per second. We come blistering through the atmosphere. Luckily, I don't have deadly re-entry on, but I'm actually considering installing that mod just because it might make the campaign more interesting and, you know, more challenging for myself. I was originally planning on using remote tech, but I know remote tech has problems whenever updates came out, and I really wanted to start doing these playthroughs after 0.24 was launched, and there was no updated version of remote tech at the time. I'm not sure if there is now, I haven't really checked. Now this giant lumbering craft begins to do its slowdown burns and opens up its chutes so it can hit the ground without blasting into a million giant pizzas? Yes, so it can hit the ground without blowing up into a million tiny pizzas. Suffice to say, however, the parachute's all open, the craft doesn't tear itself apart, and it lands safely, plops right down on the surface of Kerbal. Beautiful. On the mission summary screen, we see here that I've collected a ludicrous amount of signs from this mission. Over 3,000 signs. That gives me so many unlocks. Thank you very much for joining me. Why did I become Kermit the Frog? Thank you very much for joining me on my biggest adventure yet. And would you please join me next time as I take on other planets? Thank you for watching. This is your captain signing off. I'm gonna go unlock a bunch of stuff in the tech tree. Bye.